Aliens exist, and whether or not you believe in aliens or not, the universe is simply mind boggling, and there's simply no way that extraterrestrial life does not exist out there somewhere. Which brings us to a very cool movie from the 90s called Fire in the Sky that has some incredible points to be shown with when it comes to alien abductions. Now the movie itself is absolutely fantastic and it's a must-watch movie, not only for the alien abduction parts of it, but also for the very interesting interconnected relationships of the people involved in this story. For many people, the concept of aliens visiting Earth or meeting with us is just simply too much for them to take. Now they're discount it as absurd and joke about it. But I mean, in general, almost every human being on Earth's mind has wandered to what if or what is out there. You have to be thinking of an alien civilization that's just so different than us that our minds can't even conceptualize what they are and what they do. And they might be so advanced compared to us that they're not 100 years more advanced than us, 500 years more advanced than us, 1,000 years more advanced than us. These might be civilizations that are millions of years more advanced than us, and there's simply nothing in our toolbox to be able to deal with something that just views us as, ants to be studied. And there's certainly a lot of disputable evidence of extraterrestrials out there. I mean, in today's modern cameras civilization, I mean, we just simply haven't caught an undeniable proof yet. And until we have that proof, there's no way of knowing. Although many scholars, myself included, would 100% agree that there is life is common in the universe, and it's not that we're just one simple mistake that sprung up, but that life is just a regular part of the universe, and all throughout our galaxies, there's hundreds of millions of civilizations. Maybe not hundreds of millions, but thousands, maybe hundred, uh, maybe even 200 million. It just simply boggles the mind to even think about the size of space. But I mean, one thing is true, there are aliens out there, and the very disputable whether or not they have actually visited Earth. Many people would recount their experiences with psychedelic drugs, feeling as if they've communicated with aliens beings before. And this might be actually as bizarre as it sounds. Maybe psychedelics are a tool in which we can use to communicate with extraterrestrials hundreds, thousands, millions of light years away, and that they've put this here as a tool to communicate with all these beings throughout the universe, and that itself is just an amazing thing to even conceptualize. Now, as fantastic of a movie as Fire in the Sky is, the acting is great, the scenes are great. It's a time capsule back to that remote U.S. township of people and community. Fire in the Sky is an incredible movie, and the story is captivating. Yes, but there is a part that simply has got to be talked about, and that is the alien abduction scene when Travis recounts his abduction in full, after getting syrup spilt on his face, hiding under the table. The scene is both creepy and undeniably unsettling as Travis wakes up in some type of cocoon aboard the alien ship, and the grossness of it all really seeps into just how weird and bizarre an experience it is. And I think what they were getting at here is that it everybody has this typical thought of what an alien abduction would be like, but in Travis's case is just so undeniably bizarre and strange that he simply can't even put into words the uh, the goo, the strangeness of it all. It's just simply cannot be put into words, and he wasn't able to convey that, and suffered severe PTSD from the experience. Now you really got to wonder what the aliens' security is like, but it almost looks like cells. They're all part of cells in kind of like an organic living ship. So think that's what they're getting at. He wasn't meant to wake up, but at the same time, you really got to wonder how the aliens allowed a fucking extraterrestrial to escape its confines and potentially put them in danger. But I mean, what you get from these extraterrestrials is that they're not everything's not clean, everything's not well put together. It's all very organic and gross, and that in itself is very believable because, like I said, that aliens might be so bizarre in concept that our human minds just can't conceptualize what they would be like. And the whole scene gives you a pretty intense jump scare when Travis embarks into another cell of rotting human corpse, and this scene generally gave me the fucking creeps. So at any rate, Travis gets out of this confines, and I mean, it really begs the question: what the hell would you do in the same situation? Would you try and get out of the spaceship? I mean, you would want to. You wouldn't want to just sit there and wait for whatever is happening. I think your instincts would kick in, and you would be trying to find a way out. I mean, but the zero gravity would probably give your brain a good indication you're very likely in space at the moment, which is pretty terrifying in its own right. I think that's what the movie they were really getting at with Travis is that he's kind of lost and, so to speak, lost his humanity. He's kind of become almost animalistic as he tries to bite and claw his way out of this ship where he's just deeply unsettled and he doesn't know where he is or what is happening. And those animal instincts of survival kind of kick in, and they are kind of engage in a way that you're trying to break out of whatever confines you're in and get back to reality. So yeah, anyway, Travis is continually trying to find a way out of this when he finds kind of like a hole, so to speak. And I just think the whole design of the ship is it's very believable. It's just very strange. It's very unhuman like. It's very not what you expect, but you see common materials like potentially metal types of organic materials, and it's all very bizarre and very weirdly placed in a way that I think that the movie's creators of this just did a fantastic job of creating this atmosphere that's just so deeply unsettling. And it's a scene of a like 15-minute scene that is just so iconic and so unbelievable. And I think that this movie got kind of sidetracked a little bit by other movies out at the time. So this is where shit really starts to hit the fan when Travis loses like his necklace or whatever, and he's kind of sucked into this type of staging ground for the aliens' spacesuits, and it's another just deeply unsettling part of the movie. Now, interestingly enough, Fire in the Sky sits at a 52% Rotten Tomatoes score, so this is not an overly well received movie. I thought it was fantastic. Most of the movie was excellent and very compelling, but this scene in general, whew, man, is it ever intense, and it's worth a couple rewatches just to remind yourself what the fuck you saw. And this could have potentially been just how this movie kind of was off-putting to people, is because it's genuinely scary, it's genuinely disturbing, and it's hard to even remember any of the five friends or six friends or whatever who or coworkers who involved in this conspiracy, alien conspiracy murder plot that it's hard to even remember any of that after seeing this scene because it just takes you away from Earth, basically. So we get a massive jump scare when the alien jumps up on him, but and then he kicks the helmet off of the alien. We get a look at their true face, and holy shit, did they ever look creepy? You know what? They almost look human in some way. They almost look kind of almost replicated in some fashion as little humans, and that just is like just goes to show just how bizarrely strange the whole situation is that they're almost human but they're just not. And the spacesuits kind of give away of how the gray alien intention is. Not that the aliens were gray; it's that their spacesuits looked like that, and it's a pretty clever trick. And I find it really interesting how the alien ship is not all clean, not all technologically created as we would think. It's very dirty. There's garbage everywhere. It's very dusty. There's all kinds of old relics potentially from humanity everywhere. It's just a very unsettling look into the fact that these aliens are not clean and collected. They're very messy. They're very strange. They're very otherworldly, and that makes it all the more believable. So the aliens seemingly drag Travis to some type of operating type room, and this is when the scene really gets its most iconic moment, and something that is, I'm sure, burned in many people's fucking minds because of how weird it is. So the aliens strip Travis down, and it's kind of strange how they have such strength because he seems like a pretty decent person and bigger than the aliens. So it kind of makes me wonder why they're able to hold him down in that way. But you know, they have technology beyond our knowledge. So I mean, potentially maybe they have some kind of augment that makes them stronger than a human, and that makes it kind of terrifying as well. The film they put over Travis to secure him is another deeply unsettling thing because it kind of like sucks him into place, and it's just another example of how this alien tech is very organic and very strange in nature. It's so weird how it like becomes like the operating table for him, and he kind of becomes a part of it. So you'd think that they stick the probe up the old anus here, but actually what they do is they seem to kind of secure his mouth. They seem put off by his like screaming, and they use all kinds of devices, one in his neck, one in his eye, one in his mouth, and it's just very like we don't know what they're checking. They could be actually like downloading his brain information or something for all we know. But it's just it's off-putting how these aliens have no computers. They have no technology. They have no anything. They have these structures like metallic structures, and clearly they have technology, but we don't see computer screens. We don't see anything. It's all just like I said, very organic, very bizarre, and just totally otherworldly. And that's kind of where the scene ends. I mean, what happens then is they kind of seem to imply that they're sticking something in his eye or something. And I kind of think what they're doing is they're kind of like downloading his brain, so to speak. And it's just a very weird scene. And later on in the movie, Travis will say, you know what, the aliens don't come back. They don't like me. I think what he came to terms with is he came to terms with the fact that the aliens got what they wanted out of him, and if they wanted to, they would come and get him. But they've gotten what they were looking out of him, and they just didn't want much more to do with him, which is fascinating. So Fire in the Sky is a fantastic movie. It's not for everyone, and it would be classified, in my opinion, at certain parts of more of a horror movie, which is interesting considering that most of the movie is a very interesting buddy cop investigation mystery type movie, which is compelling in its own right. But the scenes involving the aliens are just so bizarre and out there and realistic that it really is a good watch. It's a great movie. Truly a 10 out of 10 movie. I mean, I did like Nope, and The Third Kind is a good watch too, but there's just really no other great alien abduction movie. It sets the tone perfectly for what it tries to do, and the characters and the acting are truly incredible. And it begs the question too, is if you were abducted by aliens, would you even tell people? Because people would truly think you're fucking insane and never believe you. And it also begs the question of alien, view, like if you saw an alien, like how could you prove to people it was real anymore? It's truly a brilliant concept for a movie. And Robert Patrick is a fucking amazing actor. I cannot believe how good he is in this movie. So are we alone in the universe? Well, I mean, the answer is absolutely no, because there's so many fucking stars and planets out there that it's actually impossible. But it begs the question, have aliens made contact with humans? Have they always been here? Is there multiple species watching us right now? We may never know, and until we get undefinable proof, there may be people out there who do know and have seen it for their own eyes. But until we get concrete proof, right now it's just the movies.